Hi everyone, I'm independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Anna Smith, and I'm here to share another really cool Christmas card with you. I've been getting really into making some pretty cool Christmas cards, so you'll have to check out this video and my other ones and see if you find some that you like. Look how pretty this is. I am a purple girl and I love looking at glitter. I don't really love when it touches me, but I'll get over it to make this pretty card today. So here is what we are going to do. This is the Wonderland Stamp Set that I used with these awesome trees and the greetings. When I first saw the stamp set, I was not planning on ordering it. And then I started seeing samples that other people had made with these trees in particular. And at that point I was sold. I had to get it. So if I hadn't gotten it, we wouldn't have this cool card today. So let's get started. We are going to work on this piece on the front. It measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And we're going to stamp those trees first using Memento black ink. So ink up your stamp, and I am going to stamp 3 or 4 different times before I re-ink to get the faded effect. So ink it up again. All right, I think I'm happy with that. Okay, now that we have the tree stamp, we are going to use Blackberry Bliss Ink, which I love this color. I already told you I love purple, and this color is awesome. And we're going to sponge it using a circular motion all around. So you want to start at the outside and work your way in. And as you work your way in, you want it to get lighter. Now, I want the edges to be darker, so I'm going to add more. And I still want the edges to be darker, so I'm going to keep adding more. All right, I think I like that now. So I need to make sure this ink is totally dry before we're going to emboss the greeting using white embossing powder. So I'm going to use my heat tool real quick to make sure this is dry before we move on to that next step. All right, so now I'm going to stamp the greeting, which says Silent Night, using Versamark ink. I'm going to sprinkle white embossing powder over that. And it looks like my ink was not entirely dry down here at the bottom because it caught some of that embossing powder, but we can just knock that off. And actually, if I had a paintbrush, works really well for this. I don't have one here with me, so I'm going to have to do this with my finger. But you could just knock that off before you heat set it, and it doesn't cause any problems at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and heat that up with the heat tool. Okay, now when I first made this card, I just made it like this, and I actually stamped these pretty little snowflakes using our Whisper White Craft ink all over the top of it, and it was beautiful. So you are welcome to make it just like that, or what I'm going to do now, I'm not going to stamp the snowflakes on because once I add the glitter, you couldn't see them anymore, so I'm going to skip that step and go on to adding the glitter. So here is how you do that. You're going to take your Versamark ink pad and just put it directly on top of your cardstock all over the top. And until you are confident that it is all covered with that ink. Okay, now let me clean up my white embossing powder real quick. Now I'm going to sprinkle heat and stick powder all over it. You find this in our catalog right beside all of the embossing powders. And I'll have a list of everything I used at the end, but that's where you find it in the catalog if you want to see it. So you're going to sprinkle this heat and stick powder all over your cardstock. Okay, just like that. Now we are going to heat this up, kind of like if we were embossing it. And once we get it heated up to where it melts, we need to sprinkle some Dazzling Diamonds glitter over it fairly quickly while it's still hot and sticky. So I'm going to get that ready and set it there and heat this up. Spread that around a little bit. Give it a little flick to get some of the extra off. And then we want to heat this back up once more just to make sure the glitter is nice and stuck into the heat and stick powder. Right, so isn't that beautiful? I just love this. I'm going to have to decorate one of my walls in my house with some of my cards because I just love them. And the ones that I get from other people because I love them too. Now here is the card base that I prepared. 8.5 by 5.5 basic black cardstock folded in half. And then these Whisper white pieces measure 4 by 5 1/4. And I just put one on the front. On the inside, I stamped this greeting from the Wonderland Stamp Set using Blackberry Bliss Ink. And now we are just going to attach this piece onto the front. And I may have to use my fast fuse adhesive. This may not want to stick, so I may get out the fast fuse. But there you have it. Aren't they pretty? These would just make wonderful cards to send to people that you love this holiday season. So thanks for joining in. Check out my other videos, my blog, scrappingstampingandstuff.com. Do your shopping at my online store. And let me know if you have any questions or if I can help you with anything. Thanks.